Is my fan too loud?
Nope, it's all good. Hey Jackson, it's so this is just getting to know players from Alberta Team Handball Federation. Kind of starting off with players that have gone overseas and kind of their experiences of how they started with handball to where they got and what their goals are. So you're part of our first series. We've done Greg Chauvet, who's playing in Denmark. We've done Kim, who's in Norway, and we're going to be doing Lyndon later on as well. So first of all, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in handball through school, and kind of if you can let us know about that first.
Yeah, okay. So I'm 19. I'm from Sherwood Park, which kind of seems to be a kind of a handball hotspot for some reason.
Yep.
And I kind of got into handball through junior high. In grade 7, I had a quadruple of coaches. I had Craig, Tyler, Mackenzie, and Parker, which to me sounds kind of like the dream team of coaches. And it kind of got me hooked. And we went to provincials, and Sherwood Heights never really does well, but I kind of just fell for the sport and just kept playing every year. And then I think because I didn't really do much after grade 9, and then grade 10 in math, I met Derek Branzy, and he told me that he played handball and he was on the Sherwood Park League team, and I joined there, and then I think I did that for a year. And then I met Mark because he was a coach, and Mark said, come try for handball. So that year, what was it? That must have been the spring of grade 10 for me. So that would have been spring of 2016. And we had that tryout in
Was that Millennium Place?
No, it was by our Red Deer where Ian lives.
Bentley.
Yeah, we had a camp in Bentley where none of us knew each other, and we just all showed up and slept in the classrooms.
Okay.
That was my
first tryout?
Yeah, that was our first camp, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So you played 3 years of junior high school?
Yeah, 3 years.
And then a year of high school and a year of club before you went out for the Alberta Youth Development Program?
Yeah, I think I decided to join Alberta before high school season started.
Okay. But the tryouts were after that season.
Yeah, I got pretty acquainted with all the guys and kind of knew everyone, and then the tryouts happened.
And what was your first trip?
It would have been Norway, because we didn't go to Germany with the U18s. So Kim organized a trip for us to Norway, and I think after that trip, I was bonded so well with the guys. You can't stop after that.
So a little bit about the first trip. Coming from high school or junior high where you're one of the better players. And I think a lot of times when people join our youth program, they think they're going to go overseas and just start winning right off the bat. Were you one of those guys that thought we were just going to go beat everybody?
No, our first game overseas, we played a team called Sola, and their goalie scored more than we did with his left hand, and their whole team played with their left hands, and I think they beat us maybe 60-6.
Yeah.
And yeah, that game we were like, oh boy, we're in a different world. But we were all having fun, and it was just, I don't know, it was a good vibe.
A learning process, eh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think you guys played about 3-4 exhibition games and then went off to a tournament.
Yeah, we did 3 or 4 exhibition games and did that tournament, and I think we almost won a game. And we were so excited that we came within 2 to beating the Norwegian team.
It was a back and forth game. I think you guys just lost it at the end there.
Yeah, but we were so into it, and it was, that first trip was a great experience, and yeah.
And then after that, your next trip was Iceland?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And you guys were very successful in Iceland, weren't you?
Yeah, I think we did pretty well. I don't remember exactly. We won like 3 out of the 4 games, and so we played really well, but I still think the best, my favorite memory from that trip though is when the U18s were playing what is it? What team was that?
I know what team you're talking about. I just can't remember what team it is. Fram.
Yeah, Fram. They were playing Fram, and they just weren't trying at all, and the coaches were mad, and you guys yelled at us 16-year-olds to throw the girls' jerseys on and go play. And I remember like just talking with Blaze and Noah and Jaden, and all of them were like, this is going to be so much fun. And we just went out there with nothing to lose and just got our asses handed to us. But we were
Yeah.
playing the national team players, and
Well,
that
you
was,
guys were a pretty good U16 team.
yeah,
That's
we had a very good group.
yeah, yeah. What coming off the first year of development, what kind of got you hooked on to playing handball and continuing? And we'll get into what you're doing now, but like what is of that the program, the trips? What kind of got you hooked to be like this is something I see myself doing long term?
Um, I would say just some of the aspects. Like one of the main reasons was probably the guys. Like we all just kept talking. We're like, okay, we're all going back because we had so much fun playing together. But probably for me, more personally, it was kind of just the physicality of the game. I never played hockey or football, and I was always kind of a basketball, volleyball guy. And then I got on the court and being able to hit people, and just the game is it's so fluent. There's so much fluidity to it. It just kind of hooked me, and I was like, there's so much creativity. It was such a good mix of sports for me in my brain that I just kept going. And it was also a smaller sport, so there wasn't much competition. So it was like, even if you suck real bad, you can keep playing at a high level.
Yeah.
But that's changing now for sure.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I think you guys were kind of the start because that year there was what 60, 70 guys at the tryouts almost.
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that. But there was a lot where that's the start where our program really started building and where it wasn't anyone who can go. It was started being more, okay, now you have to train and you have to show up to things to actually be there.
And also, I would say the coaches too. The sport was definitely made by the coaches. Like that first trip, we had Cedric, Brent, you. Like it was just Mark. It was just a great group of guys that just kind of bonded us, and we just, I don't know.
And then off to after that was Sweden, Denmark.
Yes, it was Sweden, Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first it was U.S. Nationals in Chicago, and then Sweden, Denmark.
U.S.
The North American Cup, where we played those two.
No, that was after Sweden, Denmark, wasn't it?
No, that was before.
It?
Yeah, it was Norway, Chicago, Iceland, for me.
Where was Japan involved?
Japan was after Sweden and Denmark.
Okay. So, out of all your trips with Alberta, like in that youth development, youth elite, what was your favorite trip?
I'd have to say when we went to Paris.
The Paris World Games.
Yeah, it was just a great. We had a great team, and just at that point, you've been playing with the guys for 4 years, so you're like really comfortable with them.
Yeah.
And but just it was great hanging out, and it's just like knowing French and stuff. You just get to go around Paris and just see this beautiful city and play against. We played against Veszprém and all these great teams down there.
But by then, you guys were when you look at it from the start, where you guys would get beat 60-6, you guys were very competitive. Didn't you only lose to who'd you lose to, Veszprém or the Brazil team?
That's the only team we didn't beat.
Yeah, so which in the Paris World Games was pretty fantastic to see.
Yeah, no.
After that, you got to go to Japan and then nationals, and then you got asked to try out for the national team.
Yeah, I got asked to try out for the national team, and I made the red shirt list right off the bat, which was really hurt for some reason. I don't know, it crushed me a little bit, but then it kind of slowed me down. But then we got a call like 2 weeks later that someone couldn't go, and they chose me, which is super exciting. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, okay, let's take this sport like super seriously. And I started getting my weight and like putting weight on, getting bigger and working out every day.
Yeah. And
that made a really big difference for me because the coach, I didn't play very much at the start, but near the end of it, I was kind of their main guy for line player.
So explain the national team a little bit to us, what your cycle was, because you did qualify for the Worlds. So if you can tell us a couple of the tournaments that qualified and you're leading up to becoming a bigger part of the team.
Yeah, so for Worlds, we had to qualify through something called the IHF Trophy, which is a tournament for like it's developing handball countries. I'm not really sure how they classify it. But we had one tournament where none of the Alberta players were invited on the team because it was such short notice, and they won it. So we moved on to the next stage, which was in Chicago. where we played the winners of the Mexico division and all that type of stuff. So we played Mexico, Puerto Rico, and the States. And we won that pretty swiftly. We didn't really have much trouble. And that tournament, I didn't really play much. I was just kind of a defensive specialist. And then in that following April, we had to move. We went to Kosovo for the IHF Intercontinental, which we didn't need to win because we already were the North American champs. So we automatically qualified for Worlds. So we knew that going in. And we played, that was like our first kind of international game as a national team, where we ended up beating Kosovo. And then we lost to Nigeria, which that team I'll never understand. They are just so just animals. They're crazy. But yeah, and then that tournament was kind of the start. There's quite a few controversies on the national team between Quebec and Alberta players, and that was kind of the start of it. So I was dueling quite hard with one of the Quebec line players for the starting spot at that point. So I came home from that tournament, and we had like 2 months till Worlds. So I just worked and worked out, just got bigger and stronger. And then Worlds came around, and there was a new IHF policy where you couldn't have more than 2 immigrated players playing on the team. And 4 players from the Quebec side are all immigrated. So they're all like, I think they were refugee status or something. They all got over, and they were good like that. And then we kind of got screwed like that, and the coaches tried to fix that. But then again, it gave me the ability to play 60-minute games for all 8 games at Worlds, which was really beneficial for me and kept pushing me. And we didn't do that good at Worlds. We came last, but still we were 24th in the world. So I can't really complain too much about that. It was a great experience.
What, like looking back at that experience, what are things you think you were ready for to play at that level, and things that you weren't ready to play for the Worlds?
For the Worlds. I would say for me personally, the physicality, I felt like I was on par with a lot of the top players, but it's just the experience. It's just like, they've been playing that sport for 12, 14 years. It's kind of the same situation when they come to Canada and they play hockey against our team. Like, we've been playing that sport forever, and they just have the like that little extra bit of game knowledge to able to break down our defense and read our offense. That was kind of the thing that I was just kind of shocked by. I was like, these guys they know what I'm about to do, and they were ready for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the one thing that kind of hurt.
So then after the Worlds, you decided now to head over to an academy in Denmark.
Yeah, I left right away. Me and Cole Reinhardt left right from Worlds and went right to Denmark. So that was a good experience. We showed up there, and it was the school, the academy we went to, EC, was a great place. There's multiple lines. It's kind of like, I don't even really know how to explain a Danish high school. They're very, very weird places, but there was a line for handball players and a line for handball coaches, where they learned how to be proper coaches. They coached a lot of teams. So I met a lot of great people over there, a lot of coaches that I talk to every day, and a lot of good players that I'm rooming with one next year. So yeah, just the handball over there, we showed up there, and the same thing, just the experience level that they have it's so much more than what I have, because I've only been playing the sport for about 6 years now, 7 years.
So what at the academy, what are things that you think you really improved on? The coaches helped you a lot on things that we don't really work well here with the players, kind of things you saw in that.
I wouldn't really say it's not that we don't work it well here. It's just that I'm going from 2 practices a week to 6 or 7 with drills the coaches watch, and they can go day by day, and they can be like, okay, Jackson, we need to work on your picks or your rolls. And they work with me more individually, since we have that much more time.
Yeah.
So we have more individual practices, and that's what I needed. The coach was like, you're a great team player. It's just, you're just not quite there with your individual skill. So I had the ability to train twice a day with the coaches who would help me work on my shots and just patience and stuff like that. And that made a big impact on my ability to play, in my mind.
And what was a schedule there? Like, what was your weekly schedule at the academy?
So we'd wake up. I think it was two practices on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we had one practice early Tuesday and one practice early Thursday, and that was just for the academy.
So you
And
in
then
the academy you practice two times on Mondays and
yeah,
Fridays?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then we had club practices on top of that. So, but that was kind of nice. It was just Tuesday, Thursday for club practices.
Okay.
So I was doing about 8 to 9. But a lot of those practices with the academy were like just strength training because they didn't want to burn us out.
Also, not like the practices, like on a Monday was one workout, one practice.
Yeah, depending on kind of what CERN wanted to do. He just kind of
Okay.
told us in the morning what our weekly schedule was. But
Okay.
some days we'd go to a different school and play the teams in a scrimmage, or they'd come to our school and play them in a scrimmage.
Okay.
So it's just, yeah, it was lots of just handball 24/7. And yeah, time flew by.
At the academy, did you have classes or did you?
Oh yeah, we did have classes. Those were kind of, we had like kind of option classes. So like I played like esports and Danish Dynamite where they teach you how to speak Danish, which kind of helped a lot. And then, but no, it's just a lot of not down. Well, yes, I'd say downtime because it's a very sports oriented school. So the
Okay.
teachers kind of understand that the kids need to have naps and just eat and all that stuff. So
Okay. And then the club. What club did you play for?
I played for ECAST handball. So I played on their U19 Division 1 team and then their Division 3 men's team.
Okay.
So that was really good, but it was kind of nice because they practiced at the same time together just because numbers, a lot of the U19 players played on the senior team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were there for the whole year, correct?
Yeah, I was only supposed to go for the first semester till Christmas, but
Yeah.
kind of Christmas came around and I was like, I'm going to go back to school. Like I was doing school online anyways. I'm like, this is like better for me. I can achieve my goals faster being here just with the amount of handball. So
Yeah.
I just I said, you guys got room for next semester? And they said, of course. And I stayed the next semester.
So you think you grew a lot as a player at that academy?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah.
So
I caught up on the experience. I think I'm catching up on the experience just because they love having Canadians there or not Canadians, just internationals that don't really have handball because they saw the skill level I was at and they're like, well, he hasn't had any European training. So they're able to just kind of push stuff through you, just feed you information and stuff because you already understand kind of how it works. Yeah.
yeah. And so now you're back and are you going back there?
Yeah, my plan's to go back kind of end of August. I'm going back to a team called Scairn. I'm playing on their B team, and I'm
Okay.
staying. They have like an academy program there too, but it's
Yeah.
kind of more low key. I didn't really even know it existed till one of the coaches was like, "Hey, I'm going to coach there. I can get you a bed." And then me and a Greenlandic national team player who I'm really close with now, we're just sharing a room and just playing together. So
Okay. So you're not back at the academy now. You're just going to play with
no.
the club.
Yeah, no, it was a little bit cheaper just to stay at the academy, and I can do more school without all the extras from the high school.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of decided to do there.
So it's an academy.
Yes, it's an academy, but it's 3 individual practices a week. It's just like, it's where a lot of young kids go to stay to play handball
Okay.
and go to school.
Okay.
So they call it an academy, but it's kind of just more like a residence for young kids to stay. And then
Yeah.
they have us there it's like a residence building almost.
What are you able to get a visa? Because I
Yeah.
just on with Greg Chauvin, he's playing there, and he doesn't even know if he can go back yet because of
No,
like
I still know 100% that I can go back,
yeah.
but I have all the paperwork and I'm in the process of getting a
Oh,
visa. So
okay.
it's more so like that. Like I'm on the team and everything. It's just kind of, I'll have to book a flight last minute and just
It
get on
just
it.
I
Yeah.
guess everything is good. It just now depends on
I can
if
get, yeah.
you can get there.
So I can get my visa once I get there. And that's kind of my plan.
Okay.
So I'm going to apply for it before, but I probably won't get it till I get there because they take about 2 weeks to get approved. But
Okay. And when do you and when are you heading back? At the end of August, you said?
yeah, mid end of August, just kind of when if there's ever a like lapse in the Danish government where they're like, yeah, borders are open, I'm next flight, I'm out. Just
Okay.
gotta,
So you're just now it's pretty much just a waiting game to see.
yeah, kind of to see what the government does.
Okay. And your goal is to, like, what's your goal here in the next few years?
Well, my goal kind of for the next few years is to kind of get to the level where I'm able to almost kind of be self-sufficient. Like I have a team to go back to, and I can get paid, and just it makes life easier to go back
Yeah.
instead of having to be all kind of like, I gotta have enough money to make it through the year. But teams that want to support me, they're like, yeah, we want you to come back, and we can help you in these ways.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my goal, is to kind of move up in the ranks, because I think I'm not actually sure because of COVID, the season didn't end, so we might be Division 2 or Division 3. It
Okay.
hasn't really been set in stone yet. I think there might be play-in rounds,
Okay.
but
And why Denmark, out of curiosity?
um, I don't know. That was a weird, because that's kind of where all the like old Alberta guys went,
Yeah.
and I just kind of was like, there's a school there. Let's just go, like, get my feet planted and kind of see what's up.
And then why back to Denmark this year?
Just because I have I just have a lot of coaches that are there. Like I just have a good community of people
Yeah.
that want me to come back. The head coach, Klaus Hansen,
Yeah.
the head coach of Skjern, the Liga team. He was the instructor for the coaches line at EC.
Yeah.
And he was the one who initially told me to come to the school. And he's been very supportive, and we always talk, and he's like, "Are you good? Anything you need?" And
Okay.
he wants me to, he likes me, so he wants to coach me eventually, I think.
Well, that's good. And he's now the coach of Skjern?
Yeah, the Icelandic national team coach, just because he was supposed to retire at the end of this year, but then halfway through the season, there's like, "Yeah, Klaus, you're the head coach now," and he went back to Iceland.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The Icelandic national team coach?
yeah, he was the one coaching in Skjern.
Oh, Gunders,
Yeah,
something like Gunder. Oh, okay, okay. He's in Germany now, coaching, I
yeah,
think,
yeah. He
in
moved from.
Magdeburg or something like that.
Yeah, I know. Klaus was like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but
um, so, what's your plan with like Canada handball? Like, are you planning to play on the national team? Is that a big goal of
yeah,
yours?
that's a huge goal. My end goal. I've always wanted to play at the Olympics as a child.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my big dream, and just that's one thing I've always wanted to do. And so that's like, national team is kind of my best bet. And even though it's gonna be close to impossible, but it's gonna be very hard. And I think it's possible in 2028, since US is hosting.
Yeah.
We have that. There's another spot, so it's just doing that. But yeah, I'm always talking to the coaches, saying, "Hey, what's up? Like, what are you doing?" And I'm always bugging them to like give us a plan. Like, "Hey, can we sign something to say, hey, I'm committed to 2028. Let's move
Oh,
stuff."
you're talking to the national coach right now?
Yeah,
Like, who's the coach? Out of
it's a guy.
curiosity.
Now that you asked, the name wipes my mind. But he's a guy he knows David pretty well, but I'm not sure how long that's
Oh,
really
he's
going to
from
last.
BC.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that long it's going to last, because
Okay, okay, okay.
there's a tournament supposedly in Greenland to qualify for men's worlds
Yeah.
first week in November, and if that doesn't happen, then there's probably, and after the vote, anything's kind of possible at this moment.
Okay.
So, but my kind of focus for this year is Junior Worlds, U21
Okay.
in Hungary. That's kind of my big goal for this year, is to kind of make it out of the prelims and stuff like that, and kind of be a.
So what's the plan? Do you guys have like a plan with the national team for that?
I've I've heard nothing from the national team coaches. I don't even know who our coach is, but
Okay.
I bugging Lyndon every day to give me information and stuff, and he's asking, and so
Is there a coach though, or not yet?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I've been bugging a lot of my Danish coaches to apply for it, because it's a great opportunity for them just to coach a national team. So
Yeah. 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 That's so true. So just kind of heading back. What are things you think like overall that in our development program to you going to Europe, or things that you think you were prepared for and not prepared for? Like, what are the big challenges you saw getting when you went overseas?
it'd probably be I think there's just a different level of maturity to the sport there. Like, they're all very on the same page, and it's a lot more serious, because I feel when you the kids in Alberta, especially my development year, it was kind of like some kids took it half
Yeah.
seriously and some kids took it very seriously, which is frustrating, because you're like, why are you playing if you don't want to take this fully seriously? but it's over there that it was like a eye opening experience, because as soon as practice is gone, all these guys are laser focused and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Which kind of caught me off guard. I thought they'd kind of be a little more laid back, and just also the physical, like they have all the best athletes over there playing handball and soccer, while over here we kind of get the odd ones to come play.
Yeah.
So it's just a different skill level. Like the skill level will always take me by surprise.
Then how come we beat them when we go to Europe?
I have no idea.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, I think it's the culture, right? It's that.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The culture, the handball culture up there. It's just.
Yeah, which, we're getting better and better yearly. I think our girls program is a lot more ahead than the guys program.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
Guys, a lot of guys don't like to be fully committed.
No.
Yeah. So I guess your next goals are to stay in Europe for the next few years.
Yes, it is. To finish, I'm doing school online, so I'm just kind of living life year by year. So.
Okay, so you're still in school.
Yeah, I'm taking all my courses online. Before even COVID hit, I was online. I was doing 3 courses last semester, and this year I'm trying to do 4 or 5 online. So.
Okay.
With all the
and what are you taking at school?
I'm taking Bachelor of Commerce in McEwen.
Okay. Yeah. And so you still have another 4 years, 3, 4 years?
I'll probably do it in 5 or 6. Like, I'm in no rush to finish it. I'm just handball's kind of number one priority at this point, and just kind of doing school to make my parents a little bit less worried about me taking a risk like this.
And so then pretty much the last few questions I have for you is, if you have a favorite handball game you've ever played.
Favorite? Oh, wow. I would have to say grade 12 provincial final, when we lost to Lillian in a shootout.
In the shootout that went into double overtime and then a shootout.
Yeah, and we lost. And yeah, that was like hands down now that I look back at it and I've digested it, is by far my favorite handball game I've ever played in. Just.
You know what's crazy? It's like our high school, when it comes to the big games, there's huge crowds.
No, I know.
That you could not stand. You could even get into that gym for that game.
I convinced like at least 20 of my friends to come, and they were all maybe a little intoxicated, just having a good time. And they were there. It was a great environment. Like it felt like alive. Like it was just crazy.
Yeah. So, your favorite memory of handball?
Favorite memory of handball. I don't know. My favorite memory of handball is probably, I wouldn't say there's like a favorite memory. It's just like whenever the guys get back together and we talk and we just kind of go through and we just like just everything, just all the things you do like off the court. It's more, the memories are more off the court, because that's kind of when the fun stuff happens, I'd say.
When you're being a 16 or 17-year-old.
Yeah, when you're being a 16 or 17-year-old in a foreign nation with no parents, you can kind of get away with a little bit more.
And then Mike has to find you guys and yell at you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's what makes it fun. But I've created great friendships. I have one of my best friends. I met him in handball, and he still lives with me to this day.
Is Blaze still living with you?
Oh yeah, he's
today. Still,
my brother now. You want to say hi, Blaze?
Oh, Blaze is there.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Blaze. Oh, I didn't know he was still living there.
Yeah, no, he just decided to stay up here for the summer. So.
Oh, is he working?
Yeah, he is. He couldn't find much work in Canmore, so he just decided to stay up here.
Nice. Good.
Fantastic.
Well, make sure you keep in touch with us, and hopefully everything works out for you. And like I said, it just kind of getting to know players and about traveling overseas and kind of experiences you've had. And again, I think it's a great opportunity. And since our programs are getting younger and younger, our players are developing more. And I think that we're able to send more players overseas. So
I for sure, I would tell kids any day of the week just to take the risk and go. It's a great experience. So it's life changing. It changed my life for handball for sure. Just I was like, I love this. I can keep doing this sport, keep going. So
just step up, right? I think we have a really good program here, and but I mean, it's a whole different world when you get to Europe and
I know.
where it's professional.
It'll be even if the kids want to come over, none of them need to be afraid to reach out to me if they need help.
Yeah.
I'm another fellow Canadian. Me and Greg talk all the time while we're over there, and
Oh,
so
you talked to Greg.
yeah, me and Greg talk a lot while we're over there. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Did you see him? Have you seen him when you were there?
No, I was about to see. We almost had a game against their club because of the cup line, like the bracket challenge
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But there was a mix-up. We thought it was their Division 2 team, but it was actually their Liga team. We played the Aarhus Liga team and just got absolutely smoked in a cup game. But again, that was also a great experience. But yeah, no, I was talking to Greg this morning. He's like, "Are you doing your interview?" I was like, "Yeah, I am."
Oh.
So yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I got off with him about an hour ago.
yeah, but yeah, I
That's
think
awesome.
he's asleep now.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, I'm gonna see you tomorrow at beach. So
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait for
yeah,
it.
it's gonna be kind of neat, something different, and getting going again. And we get back in the gym in a couple weeks, so that's gonna
Yeah,
be fun as
that'll be
well,
great. I'm
and
excited
stuff
for that.
like that. And okay, well then, thank you for doing this again. It's been nice watching you grow as a person, as a handball player, and it's nice to see what you're doing with it, and you're really pushing yourself to reach your goals, and that's awesome to see.
I know. Thank you for giving me the opportunities. It's a big part of it. You're a big part of it. So
Perfect. Okay, well, you have a great rest of your day. Bye, Blaze.
see you, Mike.
And then we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, bye,
Bye.
Mike.